Okay, today, August 8, 2016, Village of Stryker council meeting. Brandon Taylor, a Stryker graduate, is going to lead us in prayer.
I just graduated.
Okay, Brandon.
Anyway, I went to school here.
Brandon.
All right, dear Heavenly Father, thank you for today, for another wonderful day. Let's pray that you give the people in this council the wisdom and courage they need to make the right decisions. And as we depart here, I pray that for safety for everybody. Thank you for everything your sons did for us. In his name, amen.
Amen. And then leading us in pledge is Zach Herb, U.S. Marine. Zach?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. You guys want to go ahead and get pledge for us, and then we'll... Regular council meeting for August 8, 2016. A little bit of confusion for today's time. We will get that ironed out tonight. But we went ahead and had Brandon Taylor, Stryker School individual, go through and lead us in prayer. And then Mr. Zach Herb, a Marine veteran, came through and led us in pledge, which we are now at the roll call. So roll call, Beth.
Wheeling, Frisbee, Sperling,
Yes.
Blevins,
Yes.
Oberlin, Whittick.
Ready. And I'll go through and I'll talk about the two individuals not here at another time. Previous minutes on regular session 07/11/2016. Do we have a motion?
Oh, we most certainly do. I'll entertain a motion that we accept the previous minutes of the regular meeting dated July 11th, 2016.
Second. Roll call?
Frisbee,
Yes.
Sperling,
Yes.
Blevins,
Yes.
Whittick.
Yes.
Next on the agenda is finance report as of 08/05/2016.
Make the motion to accept the finance report as for 8/5/16.
I'll second that. Beth, do you have anything you want to add?
No, we were just a little ahead on revenue versus expenses this one. It was like 82,000 versus 76,000.
Did anyone have any questions prior to the roll call? Okay, roll call, please.
Sperling,
Yes.
Blevins,
Yes.
Whittick,
Yes.
Frisbee.
Yes. Communications is next. Anyone at the table have any communications for us?
Our Jaws Jam coming up August 20th. The fire hall is pretty much set, ready to go. We had some conflict with start of the parade.
Okay.
Not sure on that one. Start that one. We need to figure it out.
Yes, due to the fact that we begin serving lunch at 11, the start time is 10 for the parade, so lineup is 9, parade is at 10. We initially had the flyer stated that lineup was 10, parade was at 11, so that did cause some confusion.
So 9 o'clock lineup, 10 o'clock kickoff,
Yes.
11 o'clock lunch.
Yes, food starts at 11, the
Right.
activities begin.
Good. Any other communication from the table? We do have one, the tracks, the railroad tracks up here are going to be closed the 15th through the 19th. We got notification on that here recently, so the 15th through the 19th, I believe the fire department got that as well. Those will be closed at that time. We did get a thank you for the thoughts and prayers for the Treese family. So they appreciated that support from Dren's family as well as council there. The Stryker Village employees joined the Stryker Senior Center for a Make Your Own Sunday on Wednesday, August 17th at 1 o'clock, or 1:30, sorry. Ice cream sundaes, make your own there at Senior Center. That will be up here as well. And I believe I've seen another location too somewhere. Another item that was sent in, there is organizing a knife golf outing to benefit Bill Knowlton's Memorial Scholarship Fund. Bill lost his battle with cancer October 9, 2013. Since then, his wife started a Memorial Scholarship Fund to present 2 scholarships each year to 2 Montpelier seniors. The students applying for these scholarships are either continuing their education in criminal justice or have overcome diversity in their life. If anyone is interested in that, this is getting to us just a little bit late, but I'm sure you can still contact her. I will have this here as well if you're interested in that golf outing. And then Councilman Whelan, he called me this morning. His mother passed away today, so our thoughts need to be with him. So he is obviously taking care of some other issues that is definitely, in my opinion, more important. You need to take care of the family and the needs there. But his mother did pass away, and Councilman Oberlin was not going to be in attendance. He was going to be out of the area. But Terry did go through and ask me to do a reminder about trash cans. I guess on his walks he is saying that trash cans are being left out. So village members need to realize that, go ahead and take them back up to the house. It's one of those that you understand a little bit, but you don't want to leave them out forever. That was what I had on the communication side of things. Did you have anything, Mr. St. John? Just on communication. Chief Slusher. Next is citizens. Pat, let's start over here. I'll skip you for a second, Pat.
I'm Vicki Stuckey. My daughter Kimberly and I were in June to work on her Girl Scout Gold. I don't know if you noticed the plantings. We do have them all planted. I need to water tonight because it says we're not getting any rain. Has anybody noticed? Do they like them? Do they approve? Okay. We did do a change on the out front out here on the police side. The spruces were going to be too tall with the trees sitting out front, so we changed it so they actually match, both sides of the building match. She did go to Toledo and she did get approval to work on her gold, but they don't think it's enough.
Okay.
They think that we need to do a community-wide cleanup day.
Okay.
They want the town, or they want my daughter to get the town involved in doing a cleanup day. I'm not really sure about how to go about doing that yet. So I should say that my daughter left today on a mission trip for church, so she's out in West Virginia now. So I'm going to be her speaker for her. But one thing Toledo thought would be nice would be to have banners. She Googled Stryker and noticed that there was not much signage in Stryker, so she thought that it'd be nice to have banners in town. One thing I was wondering of, if I haven't got the final bill yet from Plants Plus to know how much we have spent. We should be well under budget, well, the $1,500 was. If any of that money could carry over, if you guys would like to consider, they thought we need to have a banner for every business. I don't think we need to have a banner for every business, but a few through town like we do at the school. If you never noticed those banners up at the school. But to use some of that money that was left over from her plant budget going towards those banners. But these are only suggestions that they thought we could do. And then they want the cleanup day. They also talked about getting with the senior center, which I know there's only like 4 people at the senior center, about seeing if we could do area for cleanup around their area of their houses. And we are still doing, we need to do a survey up at the Jaw Jam to see what area, for area people to fill out, to see what they would like to see done in town. But that is about it, so I don't know. They made the comment, they asked what grade she was in, I said she was, she said she was a junior, and they're like, oh, you have 2 years to get this done, and and they think something should happen in the springtime. Well, more cleanup needs to be done in the summer than versus springtime, but
The signs, they look very nice. Going through, I heard that work had started on them, so I started paying more attention. A lot of times I get tunnel vision when I'm driving past them. So I tried to look at it with a fresh set of eyes and purposely look at the sign. Been doing wonderful work there. As far as, and this is something the floor council would also have to agree with, but I would think that if she is under that budget right now, that if she would bring some of the other costs as far as what they are for, whether it's the flags or the banners, to bring that, so the council has a good idea about how much
Okay.
those would be and what we could get with the remaining dollars that was allocated towards it.
Okay.
But it sounds like
yeah.
she's gonna be a little busy.
Yes, yeah, they think Stryker needs to work as a community, work as a whole, and that can be a little challenging in the Stryker sometimes.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
but yeah,
But the nice thing that I've seen is a lot of times when there's a good idea or there's a good cause, people really get behind that, which is great. We've seen that last year about this time with the benefit. Hoping to see it again with the Jaws Jam and then possibly with this as well.
yeah. And then the more people have noticed us out there, they stop us now and say something to us, and besides I'm waiting for an accident because people don't pay attention to the road as they're driving past. I'm like, yeah. But Mrs. Woodall made the comment about the Friends of the Library, seeing about getting with some of them to see what they have to say about stuff. So
Absolutely.
we're meeting with them next week then. So
Sounds like you're definitely on the right path. And we
I
do
hope so.
appreciate the work she's been doing, and you.
So,
I know
yeah.
you're involved a lot as well.
Tell her we said thank you very much.
Then we'll do that. So, but that's all I have. So I just wanted to make sure everybody has noticed it. And, yeah.
Absolutely.
And we are watering, and we need to keep watering since we're very low on water out here.
Mhm.
So, but we need to keep watering throughout the fall and everything, so if our water keeps not coming, so. If you notice white buckets, that's what they're doing. So, but that's all I have, so,
All right, thank you.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll let you get back to your work stuff.
Mrs. Mueller.
I do not have anything.
Committee reports, there was none there.
Couple questions for this.
Okay. We have a couple questions coming your way.
Okay.
Can you share with us the status, or me? I haven't heard anything about Schulman's.
There's nothing that I can make public at this time.
We're still working on the problem?
Yes.
Okay.
Matt,
Pardon?
at Wedco, they're still active.
Wedco's aware, and
Yes.
how about Dalton? Anything to report on Dalton manufacturing? Closing
No.
of it, perhaps?
No, I went out there and made a call, but that was in June.
I met with Dalton, Rick, just by accident. I was doing some water samples. The mayor wanted me to sample some factories and all of that with another connection, because you're probably aware of it. And I had to wait a while, and I overheard the general manager speaking with the foreman. And so when they were done speaking, we were talking about ramping up production, this and that. So it sounded a very positive conversation, and as I walked past the general manager, I told him I couldn't help but eavesdrop because we're like from me to you, from the office. And asked him how things were going, And he said, so far so good. We're looking to increase production. And I did tell him that get with the village if they ever decide to expand, because there's programs out there and they can walk you through them, tax abatements and stuff. And he said, well, I hope that can happen. So that was the entire conversation. I did, just prior to that, and I think I might have mentioned it to the mayor, but I signed a permit for fiber optics to go to that factory. And that's usually, tells me that something's going in there. It doesn't necessarily mean there's gonna be more jobs. In fact, sometimes it means less because they can do monitoring and stuff. But there is activity, just through osmosis.
No, that's it for that.
Okay.
Like a committee report.
Yeah, I know we didn't have one, but I know you have some items on one of the committees that you're on.
Katie and I have been working on the home structure problem. I'd like to give you an update on where we're at with that. We have now 6 that we're focused on. We have a draft made this evening by Katie. And those properties are 102 Elm Street, the Scott Carroll's building, 102 North Depot Street, 113 East Short Street, 314 West Curtis Street, and 210 West Street. If you care, this is just a draft, and each one of them will say a few different words on them, but just each one is different, obviously, but same content. I kind of drove around and looked at these, and I think they need to be addressed. We finally got this draft ready to go to the property owners. I think they've had ample time to work on these. And if you notice some of the addresses, like the one in front of me is Reno, Nevada. So Dublin, Ohio, and all of you have different addresses perhaps, I don't know. Florida. So I don't know where we'll go from there, but we are ready to go with this draft. And did we say this has to be approved by council and to the mayor?
It doesn't. It's actually, it has to be, the letters have to be signed by the mayor and then sent out, so by registered mail.
These, and I'm just gonna jump in for just a couple of sentences here, but these were all the properties that we had the pictures of, we all looked at, and we did the sort, which ones we wanted to start addressing. So these, there is no one new in there that was slid in there. These were all ones that all 6 of you, or all 6 of the council was able to look at from the pictures and discuss.
And Mr. Baltosser is taking care of his. You guys are doing some things perhaps?
I think we're pretty much done with it.
Yeah. Maybe he's willing to work with us, and I think it's coming down, is the way I understood it.
Dave Hancock's taking it down, and the village is going to use this fill there to fill in the hole. We're gonna work with them, because we need to get rid of it.
Mr. Mayor and I were speaking prior, and one of the comments that I get when I talk to people outside the community, it's not always, but a good percentage of the time is, it's not a positive comment, it's negative. And they'll say, why is the grass so tall? Why is that porch falling down? Why aren't you doing something? It would be nice to have the positives, but a lot of times it's negative comments. And so doing this, I think it's very important to the village, and I think it's fair to those of us that maintain our properties. So we have a mayor that's ready to step forward on this, take charge, and I'm not sure we had that before. So we're in the right step. It's taken several months at this point, but at least we're making progress. So if we could get some of these properties cleaned up, and just like Mrs. Stuckey was saying, if we could spruce up the village some more, and maybe the snowball would start rolling and getting bigger, so. So that would be a good thing for our village, so. Yeah, so, any questions on those 6 properties? Like the mayor said, there's no new ones. We've got one of them taken care of, and some of them really need to be addressed, so. Okay. I have another one, Mr. Mayor, if you have a moment. I'd like to pass these around, and these are current pictures of your village. This is the property at Meadow Forge. This is what it's looked like all summer, especially just in the last few weeks. The drains are full of straw. Straw, if you don't know, does not dissipate quite as fast as grass. It collects. If you drove by to the south, in the back next to the railroad tracks, at least Saturday night, there was a giant pile of straw back there. I can tell you that the loading ramps in the front of the building are completely full of straw. As far as my understanding, there's no city water hooked up to this building. There's no fire suppression. There is a safety issue with mice and rats, and obviously it's close to factories and other residents. So I think if we're going to have a safety and health committee, I think this is an issue that we have to address. If I'm not mistaken, according to Katie, our process, don't straighten me out when I get off here, is council approves, the mayor approves, and we file a lawsuit
To a public nuisance, yes.
on public nuisance.
Is there a warning process? to
Well,
that?
thank you, and I was just gonna say that. I asked the mayor if we should probably go to the property owner and say, these are the issues, these are the complaints, would you be willing to work with us? And if not, we're gonna file a suit against you. And we would hope that that would work, but I don't know. But it's been, all these pictures, it's been like this all summer long. Well, since the straw come on, or the week come on.
I see straw clear down at my house. It gets struck down the street or blows down the street.
And I think the straw is, it's ugly, but it could probably be worse. But it's the, no water, no fire suppression, the rats and mice, and I think that's a serious health issue, so.
So that's plugging up the drains.
Yeah.
Katie, would it be possible, since you're talking about this, this is pending litigation, could be, right?
It could possibly be, if we go the direction of the fact that there's no water in the building, and it constitutes a fire hazard, we can just add that to the list of letters and, tell them that they need to repair it or the city's gonna take it over, so.
No, my question was, is it possible to go into executive session to discuss this?
This issue?
Yes,
Mhm.
because it could be, we're talking pending litigation. I mean, I have some things I'd like to share as is what all happened,
Yes, yes.
and I can share with
a
the
possible
council
litigation.
and you.
Yes.
For possible litigation.
Yes.
So would it be advantageous right now or another?
It doesn't matter to me, I'm just saying, you know, I think we're at that point.
Let's go into it into a second here. I'm going to piggyback on Mr. Whittick. One of the things that coming into this, as far as this new change with faces here, was let's get the houses taken care of, or the structures. That was the big one. And then the one that was almost like a little bit underneath that was some of these places that have issues, such as the nuisance with the straw, whether it's the, not so much the tall grass in the typical front yard, but then they were talking more of the weeds. And I know that Chief Slusher went through and we got that corrected, I think it was last year or year before, something like that, as far as the way that we go through and do the lawns. However, the big one was the big weeds, which goes right in line with the straw as far as the nuisance, the concerns over the health with those rats and the mice and all the critters that could be going in there. So we're right on track. I'm really glad that Mr. Whittick is kind of taking the lead on this and getting us where we need to be. To go in and talk about the possible litigation, or at least the ins and the outs of that, we would need someone to make a motion to go into executive session for that reason.
Sure. I'll entertain a motion in our executive session to discuss possible pending litigation.
Second.
Blevins,
Yes.
Riddick,
Yes.
Frisbee,
Yes.
Spurlock.
Yes.
Who are you including?
Who would you want to, obviously Katie,
Yeah.
Chief Slusher,
Chief.
Alan as well.
Oh, absolutely.
And would you Beth and Patsy? That's up to you.
Yes.
Good with everybody.
Yeah.
So just get your paper out.
We were gonna use the
Roll
road.
back on, Beth?
Yes, we
Okay, the road is part of our share. So it was like a
Yeah.
freebie, because that was an improvement. And the road's coming up in 2017, as we know, with some improvements, by the way. So,
Okay, video's back up. This came out of executive. Mr. Sterling went through, bring us out, and then who was the second? Correct? Okay, next item. Oh, no, you're good.
With school coming on,
Sherwood?
what is the status of the sidewalk crossing in front of the elevator? With the giant hole and a mound of stones, it's still there. I've asked about this for months.
did you, you saw the email that I sent, and the gal sent me back. I talked to the head person, and I told them that our council and mayor were concerned, or something to that effect. You remember, is that, you have a copy by any chance?
Not tonight.
Okay, I have one, but, I asked to be carbon copied so that I knew that she did make the contact, and so I could show the council that a formal complaint was put in. And I told them that there was a hole in the board on one side, and there's, and it's been like this forever, and our children are, blah, blah, blah. Now, I saw that day a railroad truck parked over there, and I thought, well, we're gonna get something now, And there's still a pile there. Now, it's maybe not quite as bad as I might have portrayed it, in the letter, and I can show you the letter, but nevertheless, that's as good as it gets.
Can we push them again, between one of the two of you? Can we push them a little bit, see what,
Yeah, that's it right there.
push them hard?
Received a call from Gary St. John, City Administrator of City Stryker, Ohio. He stated that the above crossing has broken down boards on the north side of the track, as well as a 3 to 4 foot pile of stone that has been sitting in the walkway for a substantial amount of time, blocking kids and pedestrians from crossing in the walkway. Please investigate and advise. He has been copied in on this email, and he wants to let the mayor and council know that he is working on the issue and when they will be resolved. Gary can be reached. Karen Purcell, Engineering Department, Dearborn Vision.
And I've not been reached, so,
Let's push them,
all right.
see if we can't get it cleaned up a little bit. Okay,
Sure, thank you.
you done?
Okay.
Okay.
Somebody else.
Any other committee reports? I think that was really the only ones going at the time. Next one is old business. We discussed the Jaws for Jam just a little bit, but I'll open it back up for, just as a refresher. Jaws for Jam.
Okay. Hopefully we'll have a successful fundraiser, and we'll use the money to buy some Jaws, replace our current Jaws. They are dated, they're 25, 30 years old. They've served us very well. We've got some chipped cutter blades, and the manufacturer says, quite frankly, they're not really worth spending a great deal of money on replacing the blades on the units that we currently have. So There will be food, there will be drink, there will be a cornhole tournament, there will be a Jaws Jenga display. If you've ever played jumbo Jenga using Jaws to pull the boards out and whatnot, should prove to be interesting. Of course, there'll be a parade, the band in the evening. That band starts at 6, I believe.
Correct, that starts at
Yes.
6, the Violet family, which they play grass country. I think they're gonna play at 4 o'clock prior to Rat Nip.
Yeah. So we're hoping for a good turnout. We're hoping for a successful day for the village.
Okay, the next one on, under old business is the land bank. That was some information and I know that didn't give Rick a whole lot of time, but I gave him some information on some possible land bank. I don't know, Rick, if you've had a chance to really dig into that.
I haven't, Mr.
Okay.
Mayor.
But that's definitely something that we're looking at for possibly helping with cleaning up some of the area buildings that are getting some letters. So that's a possibility there that we're also looking at. Number 10, legislation, there was none, which leads us into Mr. Gary St. John, the administrator report. I believe this is his official last administrator report for the village of Stryker. So, Mr. St. John.
Okay, appreciate it. I've appreciated being administrator all these years. Gonna keep it pretty simple. Well testing is complete. We have an annual thing. Alan will get the report, as he always does. It didn't appear like we had any issues when I talked with him, let him in. Of course, we had a water main leak behind the green space. Had to have Slade Edison come in and had some help, but we all worked together on it. Brand new coin machine today. Alan and Mike installed it, so yay. So we're good to go on that. And we think it works even. We tested it, it ran.
Did you get any phone calls?
We calculated it, 26 seconds for
Can
a
you
quarter.
swipe a card?
No,
Oh, okay.
No, you just put the quarters
It's-
still.
the same old system. I mean,
Okay, but new and improved.
New and improved.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little more, and so Alan and I talked about that today, and we're going to have a sign made by EconoSign, because they make everything, that it'll be $5 per 1,000 gallons. You know, and then that'll help cover the cost. So they know, because it's an increase in what they've been using, so they might wanna bring an extra bag of quarters, you know, or they kind of save, you know, confusion. So we were gonna do that. I will work with Beth and see if there is a transportation enhancement grant still out there and stuff like that, and what, and she would be good at that as far as the, you know, follow up, what we had going back in the day. And, or there may be something similar to that. The only thing I'd like to see, as I mentioned, I'd like to see a motion for Alan, so that you're not, you weren't here when I mentioned it to the council, but, see, I'm gonna be gone at the end of August, and so there's really more than 2 weeks going by, or, you know, 12 days of no purchasing power for Beth or anything, so, you know, I would think, Beth said, what we'd have to do is make a motion, and that effective the 1st, that he would be the village administrator, then he can officially do his thing.
So,
That's something to do, fair enough.
yeah, we can do this. Actually, let Mr. St. John finish that, and then we'll roll into the motion that would take effect September 1, is what we'll do the motion for, and we'll do the, so.
I'm finished.
Oh, you're done? Okay.
I had one comment.
Absolutely.
Alan and I talked today, and I don't know the cost of that, it doesn't matter, but it wasn't cheap. And I think a weather
Awning.
something should be put around it on 3 or 4 sides so that it is somewhat protected from the weather. It's still an electronic
Correct.
device, could get water inside the slot. obviously it would have to be stainless steel or aluminum, and I would think that Jason, and maybe Jason might donate, I don't know, so, but I certainly think that that should be protected in some way, being as though it's on a flat wall, it's gonna collect, and maybe we'll get 100 years out of it, I don't know.
We even read that in the directions, didn't we,
Yeah,
Alan?
it recommended an awning.
So,
Yeah,
That's what it
says
says.
you're gonna have a runoff from the building too.
yeah, so if you, or if you want me to, say something to my friend Jason, I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Okay. We'll work it out. Okay, thank you.
Good idea, good idea. So now what we're looking for is a motion for Alan to take over as the administrator on September 1.
Sure, I'll entertain a motion that effective September 1st, 2016, that Alan becomes our full-time acting village administrator.
Is there a second?
I would like to second that. Or maybe it doesn't go ahead. Go ahead.
Roll call.
Frisbee,
Yes.
Spurley,
Yes.
Levens.
Yes.
Whittick.
Yes.
Okay, with that, I'll throw this in here now. Gary, thank you. You've been actually very wonderful to work with. We don't always see eye to eye, which is okay, because you don't want to look at one opinion all the way through. So it's always been nice to have your opinion from your experience. There's a lot of things we're going to miss, truly are going to miss as far as with your expertise. But I hope I speak for all the council, enjoy this stage of your life. You and your wife do what you want, when you want to do it, how you want to do it. Truly enjoy it. But I do appreciate everything that you have done for Stryker. So thank you.
Well, thank you.
Chief Slusher.
I can do this.
All right. So, everybody, I'm assuming, has seen my request. The reason, obviously, with things that have transpired within our community, within the law enforcement community, I'm just feeling as if this is probably a good route to go as far as body cams go. I know there's been some questions, posed to me as to why we don't have them. And quite frankly, I didn't feel as if we needed them, because I did feel, and I do feel as if, even though we have very professional officers that hold themselves to a very high standard, we don't always have, quite frankly, citizens that hold themselves to the same standard. And so this is why I really want to go to a body camera. The other reason is because we do have a car that is down right now because the new cameras that I purchased, the one is not working because it was, I believe, installed incorrectly. But we're going to fix that. So it's been down for the last week or so. And I figured, on traffic stops and things of that nature, at least this will be an additional form of documentation that we can use for traffic stops and stuff like that. So, I tried to be very selective on, the cameras that I'm looking at. I do want to get, an infrared system. Not necessarily, they're not really night vision, they're just, light enhancing, that will, enhance the video when the officers are, in dark areas. So they're truly not night vision, they're just infrared, like I said, that will bring in the light, the ambient light, and, and apply that to the video. So that's what I'm asking for. Other than that, not really a whole lot. I'm not looking for an answer tonight. If you want to, mull it over, and we can address it again next council meeting if you want to. I don't have a problem with that. But I think it's something that we really need to probably look at, implementing.
Do you know of anybody who has experience with these particular cameras?
Montpelier.
Good results?
Yeah.
They appear to be inexpensive. And
Yeah,
I
I
just
mean,
wondered-
well, that's kind of what I wanted to, I mean, you can buy systems out there that are $700 or $800 a piece. But actually, I have two officers, well, J.R. Shreese and Steve Mendez they've already bought their own.
Yeah.
And, paid for it out of their own pocket.
They have the same or two?
They have the same.
And is it?
It's made, yeah, they're all pretty much, internally speaking, the quality, 1080p, typically got, anywhere from a 4 to an 8 gig memory card. Usually, a couple hours of battery time. That's run time. That's not just, sitting on your chest. So, yeah, they're all pretty comparable. Just about all of those run on like a Windows media player. So there's not a whole lot of difference between.
So you're comfortable with the quality for that price? Or
Yeah,
better?
actually, I am.
I mean, a little bit extra money gets you something out a lot better, or is this just?
No, I think this will be sufficient. I think it's a good start. And I was very, I just wanted to make sure that we were getting the most for our money, as far as what these units.
So the continuance that you want is above your budget then? Is that what you're saying?
I'm sorry?
You want more, so that's above your budget? Is that what you're asking for?
Yeah.
I think I can move, there's money there. I don't think
Okay.
you have to increase $800. There's 1,000 in other.
Oh, so you don't really, we don't need to make a motion to reappropriate anything? We just have really easy for you to say.
That's what it's open for.
Do we want to say all in favor, to say?
My only problem with this, and I don't have a problem with taking from, my other, in purchasing cameras. My problem, is getting to be where I've already taken from, small equipment repairs to purchase large items such as in-car cameras. I had to take $1,700 out of money that I could have spent on training or, other equipment. Kind of an unforeseeable situation, but.
So are you wanting to protect
You know what, if it comes down to it, I'll use the money that I have within my budget right now. And if we need to come back and if I need to ask for additional money for, tires, in September or October, or, we're probably looking at, oil changes. I think my vehicle equipment and repairs are down to about, what, $50?
Vehicle and maintenance your vehicle maintenance is gone, but your other repairs and maintenance is $722.95.
So,
I guess I
So,
see two.
I mean, I can move from other ones in general too if you need to. I just don't think you need to increase $800. I can find $800 within the general fund somewhere.
How would you feel about purchasing these through the available dollars and then coming to us if between
when
now
we
and
need-
December?
yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
If a car needs tires, we need tires.
I'm just saying that it's going to come somewhere, and I think honestly, by the end of the year, I probably will be asking for a little bit of money to continue operations.
Where are we at training wise? Are you happy with your level of training? Do you foresee spending dollars there?
I'm never happy with
Never
it.
There's
Yeah.
1,600 left in there, 1,626. So I mean, there's lines where we can move money around, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
And then we can easily appropriate more if between now and the end of the year.
If needed. I mean, not easily, because your general fund's about maxed out. That's why I'm saying I'd rather see moving within instead of increasing.
Yeah, and I'm okay.
Chief Slusser, when are you up for a new car?
I'm gonna ask for one next year.
For 17?
Yes.
How long does that process take?
As far as to order it and,
Well, but I mean, paperwork when you ask and when you get the vehicle.
it really, a phone call to Terry Hendricks, because they typically do the state bid. I tell them what I want, go over the options that I want, and they get it.
So that statement right there, and I got another question. Why aren't we dealing with Williams County?
I've tried actually.
Have you?
Yes, absolutely. Case Beer, their bid came in about $2,000 more because they wanted to sell it to me outright. They couldn't get the state bid for some reason, or they didn't want to do it. So I'm not satisfied with Fords, as far as the SUV or the sedan.
You're not?
No. A V6 is fine for like the sheriff's office, or, somebody that's putting a lot of road miles on at, moderate speeds. But for going from point A to point B, one block at a time, a V6 isn't gonna last us that long. And that's proven in law enforcement.
When will we be working on the budget numbers?
I was gonna ask about that.
I'm just
I
wondering.
think, isn't that usually next month?
I was gonna ask
About
about
September.
finance meeting, but
Okay.
in September.
And we still got a reprieve on the insurance?
I have some numbers, that's why I was gonna ask.
I just wonder if we still have that renewed before October 1st or?
No, they changed it, they're going back to a 14-month renewal.
So then, you should
So
be
we
able to
go to
come up with
some-
a price for a vehicle for budget purposes. I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
it'll be fairly close.
Okay.
They usually don't change a whole lot from year to year. I mean, maybe, $500-600. That's the biggest jump I've ever seen. And actually, I think when we bought the 14 compared to 11, to the 11, I think the 14 was actually less than the 2011.
So-
It wasn't much, but it was like $200 or $300 less.
So we get a 17, then the 14 becomes second, the 11 becomes third, we get rid of the oldest, or we can repurpose it for a first responder vehicle or something like that. Okay.
But you're saying the Case Beer will not match?
Like I said, Rick, I mean, I have all the documentation.
Oh, I'm sure.
I mean,
It seems like.
and I think we actually, Gary helped me out on that. We actually did an open bid at one point in Terry Hendricks, because they know that they're gonna get, the maintenance and stuff like that.
Gosh, shouldn't we be staying in Williams County?
Well, we've done it,
It'd be
like
nice.
Steve said, and I will say this, Case Beer is the only one that I've helped deal with, and I've bought vehicles and stuff for almost 40 years. And I found that when we opened up bids, we didn't go with the state bid price, they were higher in every case. It wasn't in the county necessarily. I remember when we bought a police car, I mean, you can spec it out and not write off the bid. I mean, you're not gonna get a Ford and all that, Steve and I went through all that, but it wouldn't hurt to put it in, just, it's,
They get every opportunity.
you're right. I mean, you can do that, you can accept bids and then get the best bid.
Well, as long as they get an opportunity,
Oh, yeah. I've never denied them an opportunity.
then that's fair. I mean, but gosh, I would think that they would want.
I'm gonna throw a plug out for the body cameras, if you don't care. Just being a criminal defense attorney, so like on the bad side of the line, criminal defendants will question everything, so it can only improve the integrity of the police force by having the body cameras. And based on, honestly, what Chief has done in Stryker, based on my reading of the procedures manual, and this petition for new body cameras, what he's doing is so in line with the social climate right now and so in tune with what's happening that I think the village is at the forefront of like being an exemplary village as far as its police force goes. I just wanted to throw that out there because what I've read and what I've seen so far is pretty impressive.
Thank you.
So looking at getting some cameras around,
Mhm.
and then if you need more, we'll look at,
Yeah, you know, we
come back, don't be afraid to come back.
I won't.
But then also if you can get yeah,
I know
I
it's
know,
my street
I know.
budget, but it's gonna include.
But then definitely start looking at the police vehicle.
Mhm.
You notice I didn't say car, but vehicle, whichever route that you're looking at. That way they have an idea for when we start setting up.
We can reapply for that grant, we didn't get it,
Right.
obviously they only gave it to, bigger cities pretty much, because that Antwerp was the only school or what they got car.
Okay.
But that's gonna be open again.
Okay. So we can look at that, but then the other thing, don't let training suffer either. I mean, that's,
We actually have firearms this weekend.
Yeah, they're out.
okay, anything else for Chief Slusher?
Well, I still-
Yeah, we got two.
Oh,
we're supposed to get
sorry.
More though. Yeah, yes, yeah, we've got 2 SUVs that are getting done right now. Yeah,
I thought I read.
yeah, but we're supposed to get 2 more before the end of the year.
Do you have 2 officers in line?
I do.
Great. Yeah, it's been,
Yeah.
it's been.
So, I think that didn't I give you a copy of the roster?
Yes.
There's one attached to
Yeah,
that.
very,
Okay, so, do not hesitate. I mean, if you know who's on duty, I mean, you gentlemen have every right to contact the officer that's on duty. Now, if it's, for a complaint of some sort, I would ask that you go through our central dispatch. But these are always good to have, just in case you need somebody that's on duty. So I would just ask that you not share that with anybody. I mean, post it on the refrigerator or whatever, but just don't share it with anybody because that is sensitive information. Those are all personal cell phones. So, but yeah, going down to that third paragraph, it's just awfully difficult to get vacations covered. We had a heck of a time, covering my vacation. It got done, but boy, it's really just a lot of officers just just making a lot of sacrifices, to cover those hours. And again, hopefully we can get that changed here within the next couple of years. But in the meantime, I do intend to hire 2 more officers. Not going to send out any names right now, but I am speaking with a couple of gentlemen that probably looking good for hiring and maybe even starting, get the mayor involved, get them sworn in, and possibly getting them ready to go even as soon as September, getting them in for the FTO and everything. So we're going to be busy, and we always are, with training and getting new officers right. But it's what we do. So going to the monthly report, 70 total reports, 29 traffic warnings, 1 traffic citation, and 2 ordinance violations for Salveras. Just a little caveat there.
And were those resolved?
One was. Yeah, the other one, actually the last one, on August 2nd, is Kirk Street. Yeah, it's currently posted.
Is that gonna be taken care of pretty soon?
Yeah, actually, it's due to be mowed tomorrow. However, I was going to kind of just give it to you guys and,
I have to have all assessments in by September 12th. Just so you know, if it's gonna be something that has to go on property tax.
I guess my question is, and I know that the service that we're using, commercial service is awfully expensive. But I would just, again, suggest if we know who the owners are, I wouldn't have a problem with using a commercial service because we can send them a bill. Or for situations, you know, foreclosures in Reno, Nevada, you know? I've, well, for the they have responded, I will tell you, Rick, they have responded. It's been about, probably about 3 or 4 years since they've responded. And my opinion is they've gone out of business or moved. There's no forwarding address, but we've sent certified mail, I have, up until we changed the ordinance, just this year, last year, whatever it was. But for about 2 years, I got, all my certified mail returned, with 3, free attempts to serve, and they've all been denied, so. But something like that, my opinion is, I think we should have Jeff do it with village equipment. It'd be a lot less expensive.
And that goes on the taxes.
Well, it could, but are we gonna get that back? We don't get that back typically, any foreclosures. That's money that we have spent out of our pocket.
That we probably won't see back.
That we'll never see.
Probably will not see it. The avenue that you're taking right now, with these letters that you're working with Katie on, that may help that situation right there, because by fixing one, it's gonna solve the other one, just because. Unfortunately, right now, it's not fixed yet. But by fixing yours, it would solve that one, or by doing his.
Chief, how would you, because, I went through this process in my mind's eye and spoke with several mayors and stuff on this. It's $180 a pop.
Right.
Okay, it's not made to
For
be-
commercial?
Yeah, right, for commercial. Now, my deal is, if you send Jeff over to a small yard like this, why, how do you charge that? And, you gotta wait till it's so high, you gotta mow it so bad, it's so tough on the equipment. I wouldn't wanna mow those yards with our equipment, I just wouldn't. I mean, in all honesty, our commercial guy isn't real big about it, but he's doing it, and it's at a premium, it sounds like, but boy, you've gotta rake all this crap up and, he weed whacks it and.
Well, he recognizes it's hard on equipment.
Well, it is, see, and the point is, no way would I recommend having say, if I would mow my grass, you send over the commercial guy and I can get paid $180, but if my address is in Florida and you don't know where it's at, and I've still got property and mow, you know what I mean? Jeff can go ahead and mow it. I don't get it, to me, it has to be, and the reason why I didn't like time and material we're trying to charge somebody is because some people's got big yards and some people's got small yards. This is just a flat rate.
Right.
And, we talked about it, and I know you and I have talked about it being high, but it's not, it's supposed to be an encouragement to do it. Now, in the foreclosures, I understand that that's a tough deal, but, I don't know any other way that you could, Rick's even went in with his tractor and mowed some of it because he couldn't take it no more, but it is very, extremely hard on equipment, it just is. You guys do what you want,
Well, we could flat rate, we could do them all and flat rate everything $180, and then we don't get hurt as bad for the ones we never collect.
that's what we're doing now with the commercial, and it doesn't hurt our equipment.
Well, we don't get hurt financially, because we're paying the commercial $180, we're not getting it, we do it internally, charge property owners $180 across the board, and we're paying wages and hopefully not destroying our equipment. And if we get paid, great, if we don't get paid, we're not out the $180 check that we paid, we're just out the wages that we paid.
Oh, and use our equipment, you're saying?
Yeah, unless we destroy our equipment.
So could we create a fund of some type and have him mow it more often throwing it out.
So it doesn't get so high.
So it's not so hard on the equipment.
I know, how tall has it gotta be before?
8
it
inches.
gets-
8 inches.
It's gotta be 8 inches tall. How tall is it typically before it actually gets moved?
Usually about 12.
Okay.
So is that something we want to sit up and just discuss?
So it's probably worth discussing as we approach next year. I mean, yeah, I think it's this year's
The
probably.
only thing growing now is weeds.
Yeah. But,
But they look like crap though, too.
yeah.
It's just something that I've thought about. I mean, we waste a lot of money on foreclosures.
How many dollars have we spent this year? 3
No, more
on the foreclosure ones?
than that. Yeah.
3, right?
There's one time they billed 360. So,
But in any case, it's still difficult. It's not something that we can just, well, like, let's go through, let's get a group together, and then we'll figure out which avenue we want to take, that's most feasible for the village. Okay.
Do we have as many, or are we gaining on some of these?
No, I think we've actually it's probably decreased, yeah, over the last couple of years.
we spent 1566.
Okay.
And that's money that we quite honestly don't expect to.
My budget is 2,400. I only pay yours and sons out of one line, contracted service for all.
Okay.
So I keep track of it.
And my last item of business, I had John Ely. I know Mick's probably the only one that knows John. John is he retired from Williams County Juvenile Probation Office last year, and he just kind of goes out into his shop and he just kind of tinkers around with stuff, but he's actually got a pretty good business going right now. And John is also a retired Master Chief Petty Officer from the Navy, and so he and I have actually obviously have a little bit of something in common. Department of the Navy. I mean, obviously, men's department on my side, but
And we're live.
I'll let you slide.
Hey, that's all right.
I'll let you slide on this one.
But John stopped by today, presented the department, and I think he's going to go around and present to all the departments, basically an American flag with the thin blue line, American flag. And it's actually hanging on our wall on the north side. If you want to come over and take a look at it, it's quite nice. And but John has always been a good friend of the police department, law enforcement in Williams County, and great guy. And this is just something that he wanted to do, and just to show his appreciation towards law enforcement.
Those little bats.
Yeah.
What he does is he takes them, cuts them in half lengthwise, and then he creates pretty cool things.
Yeah, that's neat. I've seen them done with big bats, but I've never seen them.
Yep.
with them.
Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So definitely take a look at that when we get out of here, we'll take a peek at that. Every time I see him, probably once or twice a week, and it's never Mr. Ely, it's, hey, Master Chief.
Yeah.
You have to do that for the adult section of the
Right.
department store, the Marine side. But it's definitely something that he's gifted at doing that stuff, and then to go through and give it to the village police department speaks high volumes. Speaks high volumes of his opinion of the police force here.
Other than that, I don't have anything else, gents.
All right, thank you, Chief.
Here you go.
Next we go under other. I'm gonna start on my left this time. Mr. Whittick, do you have anything under other?
Thank you. No, I don't.
Mr. Blevins?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
FYI, the 3 people that we had for EMTs, they all 3 passed. And as far as I know, they're all running now, so
They just can't drive yet.
You can't drive it.
Yeah.
You can ride, but you can't drive.
Yeah, we ran into the situation with Eli. Yeah.
But that'll help out a lot, so.
I noticed that here a few days ago, I seen a couple of the new individuals that just passed and got their certification. I did see them with their lights on coming up for a run, and that was refreshing that it wasn't the exact same two people. It definitely helps the village.
It's gonna help Katie on their schedule too, so I'm sure it's gonna help them out.
They'll actually be able to leave town and go out to eat or see a movie without taking a spot out of service, so it's fantastic.
Now with that, now that we have 3 additional, since you both are also on the fire department, do you know of any others that are interested in getting that certification as well? Or is that something that you guys can kind of
We can
push a little
monitor
bit,
the
and we could
situation.
possibly say that we're still looking for more individuals?
But as fire department side, I don't think there's anybody else.
That are interested?
I mean, we got really cool cars to drive too. I mean, as far as, the first responder vehicles.
That's true.
I mean, it can't be Al driving it all the time.
Yeah. So I guess just suggesting to the general public that anybody that's interested, whether it's first responder or in the EMT, 2 different levels of training, both very important positions.
Absolutely, absolutely. But definitely glad that those 3 went through, willing to make that commitment to the village. So. Anything else, Mr. Weber? Mr. Squirrel? There's no football game on tonight.
That's true. Got all the time in the world. What I did mention, except you were stepped aside at the time, and might not have heard. A number of years ago, this came about in my mind because of the Girl Scouts and the attempt to beautify the village and perhaps get a ball rolling and case of public pride in the community and whatnot. A few years back, I want to say 10, 12 years back, Gary had pursued a grant to beautify the businesses downtown. It was a matching grant at that time. It just wasn't the right time for it. Maybe this will be the right time for that. So he already said he would share with Beth and talk to Beth about that particular grant program and see what might be available for that next year.
I would push for the 2017 because they had a percentage, it was like 80-20 is what it was, okay? And they would pay 80%, and then the owners would only have to pay 20, but the village, we worked it out that because we were having the streets paved and everything, even though the state was coming in, we were utilizing that extra money that we normally would use, so we were giving the contribution.
Oh, so you
So
were-
it was a freebie.
Okay, so we were hoping the property owners matched that 20.
Right.
Okay, that's up.
And so it's
Just
come around, so
popped in my mind, I
that
thought
was
it
10 years ago.
Okay, maybe 2017 would be the right time for us. I would also like to say, Gary, thanks for many, many good years. I like to think we've become friends.
We have.
Yes. So, as the mayor said, enjoy your time.
I've been through 6 mayors. That's enough.
How many of those are repeats?
No, 6 different mayors. 6 different.
That's it.
You done?
Yes.
Okay. What? Or Frisbee?
I just
I'm
like,
looking.
I just, that one thing, I'd like to thank Gary for all the years of service and officially appreciate it. Not a lot of guys want to stick it out that long and do that job, I'm sure, for that long.
Appreciate it. I
Just
think you
wanna
guys
say
have a
thank
good
you.
council.
Yes, it is a good thing.
Congratulate Alan, his pro
Oh,
bowl.
yes.
Pro bowl.
I wonder if
That's all I have.
Mrs. Stuckey would consider, maybe she could paint the old green awning building. Instead of looking like a lemon. I wonder if that'd be a project we could consider.
They just painted it to the
Yes.
linen.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
It's not.
That might be under the new owner when that goes to a new owner.
We have to have consent for
That's
that.
gonna be a while.
Yeah, that may be a little bit.
Mayor, can I have a question?
Yes,
I would like to have a finance committee meeting before, like, I would like to, maybe before the council meeting on the 12th. I have started on next year's budget, I'm through, tentatively, I gotta go back and recheck what I've done for the police, but I've tentatively gotten through the police before I had to take that week off, so, I'd like to have something to, I will have something to present,
okay.
and insurance.
That's Terry's meeting to organize.
That is,
He's
well,
not here.
Terry's not here, so we have 2 out of the 3. What we'll do is tell him what he was nominated for.
Okay.
So
So
what works best for you two?
Can we do it on that 12th, before the council meeting? Which leads to the next question, what time will the council meeting be?
So we're talking
It's on
September.
my list.
6th.
So September
Okay.
12th for finance, does that work for the 2 of you?
Gotta make sure I'll be back in Ohio then. Sure. That
Or-
should work.
I mean,
What
if
time?
you wanted to do the 5th or another day that week, I'm fine.
Oh.
I mean,
Labor Day.
No, you're in the Labor
That's-
Day.
Yeah,
that's a week,
yes, I
holiday
thought.
weekend.
No, I would say that 12 would work for me, but what time?
If we just go an hour before, I
Which
think
would
we
be
fine.
what time?
Well, that's the next question.
It's gonna depend on the next question.
Well, let's go to the next question before answering that one. Currently, our council meetings are at 6 PM. That's where the official is at.
Okay.
However, we did modify, I think 2 months in a row, which caused chaos and uncertainty for today.
Yeah.
So we modified the 2 prior to this. We now have 6 PM. If you want that change, you need to do a motion to change that to a different time. If you wanted to leave it the same, we're okay. We just need to make sure that we're 100% on the same page.
I had my alarm set for 6:30 to remind me to get ready to leave work to be at my council meeting at 7.
Actually, it's in our council rules, but it is at 7 right now.
Well, it's in the rules at 7?
Yeah, it's actually in our, I'm sorry, it's 6 right now.
Okay.
Right.
So if we
We
change
changed
it,
it to 7.
yeah, I think it's,
For the
I have
ball
to
games.
actually redo the,
It is an ordinance.
it's an ordinance.
It's an ordinance.
You can't just do it by motion.
Okay. So it is
You should have
6.
the other 2.
So it is 6 unless I do, you can change it, but periodically you can adjust it, but to change it permanently, you have to do it by ordinance.
Because
I say we leave it as
Just-
is until the other guys.
Okay.
So that means then it will be a 5 for the finance.
Yeah,
So 6 PM next September meeting, which is September 12th is our next meeting.
So.
6 PM for council and then 5 PM for finance? Okay.
And everyone's welcome to finance, so hopefully see everybody here. 5. Okay, 5. Can you send an email reminder?
yes, I can. I'm sorry, I was out for
Oh, I know,
the
yes.
week. And I'm not promising, I should probably throw this out there. We go back to Ann Arbor on the 16th,
Hmm,
and there's a lot of things up in the air.
Okay. Well, certainly
Hope it all goes
hope
well.
it goes well.
We're praying for a mass to shrink, so,
16th of,
August.
okay.
So basically, the reason that packets did not get sent out or hand delivered, when I spoke with Emily, I don't know if it was on Thursday or Friday, we were still uncertain what Beth was going to have or what she needed to do. Obviously, this is secondary when it comes to what she was dealing with, and that's the most important thing there. So make sure you take care of that first. But it was one of those where I said, stay inside the building as long as you can because of the uncertainty. A lot of times it's nice when you have those 2 because one can leave. I said, just go through, send an email out to all the council, try and get contact with them, let them know that you're going to send it by email and that you'll have a hard copy here at the desk. So some of that, I don't want to say it was a trial run, but it was we tried it. There was a couple glitches there, obviously, but that was actually started from me because I said stay in as much as you can. So that's where that little bit of confusion if there was some, came into play. If that happens again, then hopefully we fix that. But that did start for me on that one, as far as for her not to hand deliver those. And that was the reason behind that. September 12th, 5 o'clock, finance meeting is at 6, council meeting. Did you have anything else with this?
No, sir.
Okay. Then I'll jump in with the last couple things that I have. I do want to go through, before you guys leave, if you would, let's verify emails, just in case that does come up again, because it sounds like possibly didn't reach out. Don't know where the issue was, but let's just double check them before you guys leave tonight, if you would. This is gonna probably perk Gary's ears a little bit. Zoning board, I'm still waiting on a response from another individual. I said something to all of council last month about one of you, if you're interested, I need one of you, out of the 6, to be on that. So if you're interested in that, or your heart really wants to be on zoning, let me know. Or if it's really not into it, but yet you're willing to do that service, let me know as well. And then we can get that rolling. I would like to have that established on that September 12th. Because there may be some things coming up that Gary won't have the headache of anymore, but it's gonna turn over to the new owner of the aspirin bottle for our administrator there. So I definitely wanna get that going.
So that's the zoning board of review?
It's the zoning board, yes.
Okay, I have said on that before, and quite frankly, historically, there's not a lot of that.
No, it's totally.
Typically not. We may have a little bit.
And then the review board can only say that all the rules were followed properly. We can't overturn anything.
The council can't overturn the review board, no.
No, the review, yeah.
The review board is the, so, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that one, just know, we can do that after the fact. And then, do you know, did you guys, the fire department, did they open up a time where we can go through and talk about the K-9 unit at the Jaws for Jam? Jam for Jaws?
That was discussed.
bit, he was all for it, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Guess when you get there. So I need to talk to Tad? Okay, then the
Yeah.
other question I'm gonna talk with him on is about the Good Neighbor Award, presenting it directly after, or right before, whichever one.
Yeah, we did mention that to him also.
Okay.
I'm not sure, see, lunch is at 11, or starts at 11, and it goes for a couple hours till food runs out, or whatever the case may be. So I don't know if, what would make sense, if,
I'll get with him.
okay, 1 o'clock afternoon crowd, I mean, we want to get, in my opinion, the most folks there as possible.
Okay, I'll talk with Tad on that.
Okay. This does differ from last year's event, so we're learning.
Absolutely.
You know, this is a totally different event. The purpose of it is different, so.
Absolutely. Okay, if there is none other, under other, get a motion to adjourn.
I would make that motion to adjourn this evening's meeting.
Second.
Okay. I do need some signatures.